50 years ago, Renault unleashed the R5, the first modern supermini. And in 1972, the world had no idea what was about to hit them. A lot's changed in 50 years and the R5 has almost fallen into obscurity. That was until last year, when I took a trip to Geneva and I saw the future. The new R5, an EV. So the question is this the era of the electric supermini? 50 years on, what's the biggest difference? Well, it doesn't have an engine. This is an EV, it's electric. And what does that mean for you? It comes in 3 models. You can have Evolution, Techno and Iconic 5. Today, we've got the Iconic 5 and I love it. So let's dive in. But is this bang for your buck? Well, the starting price of the R5 is $22,995, going up to $28,995 for the top of the range Iconic 5 model. Just for clarification, this is £1,000 cheaper than the starting price of the Mini Cooper Electric. First impressions of the R5 is nice, cool, iconic. I want people to notice this car and think, ooh, like that. Exactly what I did this morning when I saw it for the first time. It drives well, it's smooth, it glides along the road. I like the steering wheel and the dashboard setup. It's got a flat top, almost a flat bottom to the steering wheel, and it doesn't take away any of the dashboard or the infotainment screen. It's perfect. One thing that seems a little bit strange, and it's just a little bit different, is the brake pedal is unnaturally high. You almost have to come up off the accelerator back onto it, and there's no mechanical connection. Brake by wire down there. But it still gives you a nice mechanical feel. So Renault have done a great job to integrate that in, but the pedal does feel that little bit high. Visibility is really good in this car. It's a super mini, but I feel a little bit higher off the ground. I almost feel like I'm sitting at the same place that I do in my Puma. It's quite a strange sensation, but I like it. The A-pillar is chunky, but it doesn't take up too much of my visibility as I'm going through corners and looking through there, so that's okay as well. The mirror, not the biggest, but a really good blind spot detection. It's like a lovely little setting sun in the faraway corner. Just pops an orange circle up when there's somebody in your blind spot. Looking through the back, it's a small window, but you can still see plenty. But you've also got the help of a companion. You've got a great reversing camera in this for when you are trying to get into that tight spot. Bit of a roundabout challenge. We've not done this in quite some time actually, and as we're going round here, it doesn't really have a lot of body roll, which is nice, and I'm getting a really nice feedback from the tyres through the steering wheel. It's also got a 10.3 turning circle, which makes it super, super tight. So I've driven a lot of Renaults and they keep adding to their portfolio of new cars. We had the Austria, which is brand new, we had the Scenic and the Rafale. Remember we did that with Lucy. But this, the new supermini R5, an EV. Bigger than the Clio, but obviously smaller than the Scenic, but there's little nods to each other car. The bit in the middle of the dash looks like it's come straight out of the Scenic. The steering wheel is like it's come from the Clio. And I like that. Is Renault the brand that we need to keep our eye on because they keep producing good, new, fresh cars? Okay, so it's a super mini, but it tackles the big roads well, the motorways. It glides along effortlessly and it's really comfortable and easy to drive. It's also properly eye-catching. You know how I know? Because almost everybody that passes, we see them looking. And that's because it's such a cool car. It jumps out at you because of the colour scheme, and I think they secretly all want one. Let's talk about a few key features in the front and the side of this brand new R5. And one thing you're going to get drawn to instantly is the battery indicator on the bonnet. Each block of the 5 represents 20% charge inside the battery. Really cool, it lights up and obviously it goes down as you use your battery. But as I come to look at the front, that to me takes me back in time. It makes me feel young again. That's what the front of a Renault 5 looks like to me. I also love the boxy lights, the bright colours, the new Renault emblem with the badge, and the top lights, how they've got the French national flag in there. They've done a cracking job thinking about that. And they have gone to town on these wheels. 18-inch diamond cut alloy wheels, which work well with the boxiness of the wheel arches. We've got a ribbon that starts here, or that's what I'm calling it. It's a red ribbon. It starts here, it goes right up around the car and finishes on the other side of the wing mirror. So another little bit of colour throwing in there to go with the black roof and the contrast of the yellow. But am I saving the most iconic feature on this car to the next step? I think I am. I don't think there's too much to say about this because you can see it all. It's got the iconic lights, the shape, the styling. It's got a big nod to its history. Renault have brought back the great Renault 5. Super minis, beware. Not only does it look good, it's also quite practical. There is 326 litres of boot space in there, should you need it. But just look at what we have. The retro futuristic seats are at the cutting edge of modernity, enhanced with the grey and marled yellow fabric. A big 5 affirms their personality, and the H-shaped seats are reminiscent of the previous Renault 5 Turbo. So 50 years on, what's changed? It's all very modern in here. 2 10-inch screens, and they've got OpenRLink built in with Google. You've got climate controls here that are real physical buttons, which is always good. I'm a big fan of that. A couple of USB-C chargers and a charging mat for your phone down there as well, and you can connect your phone to the screen wirelessly through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Now it's just as bright inside as it is outside. You can see the seats and the dashboard have got the Renault yellow stitching through, and the dashboard, I like how it's kind of on 2 separate levels. That is cool. And also, I've never been impressed by a roof lining before, but Renault have given us a pretty funky design up there. And you can also spec your car just a little bit extra with some fun and help from Renault. Yes, you can get a wicker baguette holder for inside here. Sacre bleu. And finally, in towards the back, it's quite tight in here, you'd imagine. When I'm 6'2", give or take a few inches, the headroom's okay, the legroom is quite tight. There's no door bins. That's quite a strange thing for me. I've put my hand down the side there. There is no door bin. There is a speaker there, but strange. A little bit of storage there, headrest comfortable, seat comfortable. I like that. One thing I will say, it's like the roof is actual sound deadening. Remember I said there's a bit of a fabric in there with the design? It is so peaceful in the back here, it's almost a little bit eerie. What it does have is 5 doors, unlike the Fiat 500 and the Mini Cooper Electric. Ignoring the low price and the comfortable drive, let's just take a moment to appreciate the elegant design of this car. And if you're wondering where you can pick yourself up a new era Renault 5, head over to arnoldclark.com, where we have over 20,000 new and used cars to choose from, including the lavish new R5. At Arnold Clark, we make it easy. Traffic lights in sport mode, red light goes green, we put our foot down and away she goes. There's a good bit of acceleration there. I like that. Because we have been just kind of cruising along in eco mode trying to save battery, it's always good to get a bit of sport mode, and wow, tell you what, there's a bit of urgency there. Hello, sport! Yeah, I better calm that down or I'll be getting a speed limit warning in a second. What a difference. From being a lethargic, smooth car, it becomes a little bit of an edgy funster. I'm having too much fun in sport mode. I feel like I'm 19 years old again. My friend had a Renault 5 Turbo back in the day, and he did everything to it. It had a big turbo, it had a huge exhaust. The exhaust was that big. You used to have to look in the back of it in the morning for cats. Huge exhaust, low to the ground. And this takes me back a good 20 odd years, and it makes me feel like we're in that car again. The iconic Renault 5 Turbo, but we're now in the up-to-date EV Renault 5. Just handles exactly the same. Hats off to Renault, I've got to commend them. They have absolutely nailed the R5. That is one of the best roads I've driven along. We're just outside Glasgow, and I'm going to do a U-turn and we're going to go along that again. So much fun. Well done Renault, bravo. Now we've done a lot of driving today and I've just had to check myself because I've been having a little look at the dashboard. I've done so much in sport, I've been having far too much fun. I'm back in eco mode now because there's a little bit of range anxiety kicked in. Now when I first got in this car this morning, the ambient temperature was 4 degrees, it was quite chilly, and the battery said we had 185 miles of range. This should have been giving us up to 253 miles because it's the bigger battery. It's not quite the way it is. But this car seems a lot more honest than other EVs. It's almost like 1 mile for 1%. It's not 2 for 1 that normal EVs kind of go with. But I'm rubbing my fingers. Can you tell I'm a little bit nervous? There's a little bit of range anxiety just creeping in towards the end of the day here. It's hard to recreate an icon, and 50 years can go in a flash. There won't be a single person watching this video that hasn't heard of, driven, or maybe even owned the iconic Renault 5. The fabric and DNA of this car runs through every single Renault that we've seen on the road. And it brings us back to our original question. Are we in the era of the electric supermini? Well, yes, we are. And Renault have shown us that you don't need to break the bank to get a high quality car. This is a future classic. I've been Duncan Vincent. This is Arnold Clark YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And until next time, safe driving.